Hi everyone.
They'll never say she's afraid to
I just wanted to come on here and talk about something that I've been seeing all over the internet.
Sonia learned the
And
hard way
my hair is
that when
atrocious.
Dorinda comes for you, she doesn't make it nice.
And the topic that I wanted to say or talk about was intergender wrestling. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan. I watch it all day, every day, all the time. I mean,
is attacking my character.
I'm a huge fanatic.
I'm getting very angry about it.
What kind of friend introduces you to a player like that? She knew this.
If you would ask me a question, I would probably know the answer. Or if you asked me to watch a wrestling match, I would probably watch it.
How do you feel?
And at first, I may not be interested, but I will still watch
I'm
it.
really not. I'm gonna be like, hi, Dorinda.
But the topic that I've been seeing online is about the whole intergender wrestling thing. Because of the speaking out thing, a lot of people deem it unnecessary. But here's my thoughts on it. Intergender wrestling has been in the business for years.
Tonight I am stalking my prey.
To me, my opinion is on it. If you ask me my opinion,
Shut your mouth. It's not gonna go any further. Do you get? Yeah, it's not.
if you probably ask me my opinion on it would be that, well, in some circumstances, I'm neutral on things. My first opinion, my neutral opinion is, I don't think it should be necessary. But that's not my actual opinion. I'm going to put two sides to this. The first side is, it's unnecessary. And here's my reason why it's unnecessary for my first argument. The women in the wrestling business industry have come a long way. Before these women had these huge history-making matches, they're often in bra and panties and bikinis, and only in 2-3 minute matches. And most women in history, some women in history, have gone up against the men, and they proved that they're as good as the men. So now we have all these women who are showing their talent, their strength, their athleticism, their beauty. And now we don't need intergender wrestling. In some people's eyes, they don't need intergender wrestling because women can make up great matches just as the men could. That's my answer on that. On the other thing is, intergender wrestling should be necessary. But the reason on that is, well, all the time, you see the lack of talent on the roster. Maybe there's only so much women on the roster. Maybe there's 5 women on the roster. And they need a fresh start, a fresh rivalry. So what do? They put a woman in the men's division. And that sparks new matches, dream matches. Maybe this woman can go up against this guy. And these two can put on a great match. And I think that's why they have intergender wrestling. Because we need new fresh faces, new rivalries. And people go, oh, hey, this hasn't been done before. So what do? They make it happen. And to me, I don't think why intergender wrestling should be necessary. And that's my opinion. I don't think it should be necessary. Because now you have all these women on the roster who are equally as good, as perfect, as athletic, as strong as the men. So you don't need intergender wrestling anymore. So that's my actual opinion. You don't need it. You got all these women on the roster. You got all these dream matches you can make with just the women on the roster. And the men have been doing their thing for years. And they've been putting on these matches for years. But I will tell you, the women, Intergender Wrestling has created Hall of Fame careers for women. Now, a con for that is that what goes on behind the scenes. Now, this whole speaking out thing has created controversy for intergender wrestling. And that's kind of why I think people think it should be unnecessary. You know, the men being accused, losing their jobs, being fired, and may not ever be able to do something in the business ever again. Or disappeared from social media life or life in general. All these men who've been accused. Now, for me, I don't like these men being accused, but there's nothing I can do about it. Losing their jobs and stuff, there's nothing I can do about it. I may think it's unnecessary, and to the people who I offended, may have offended online by saying that, now I see where you're coming from. For the women who are speaking, I truly feel where you're coming from. The reason is, okay, these men have been probably genuine people, but at the same token, you got to move on. Somebody's been fired. The show must go on. But the intergender wrestling thing, I think shouldn't be cut out entirely. But I just don't think I just don't think we should be seeing intergender wrestling as much as we've seen it in the past. Because now we have a stacked female roster, we have a stacked male roster, and they're off doing their own thing. So, that's my opinion. Now in closing, I like what the women are doing. That's why I watch wrestling almost every single day, because I like what the women are doing. I'd go back and watch intergender wrestling matches. I'd go back and watch female matches that happened in the past, I'll admit it. But now I like what the women are doing. And I used to not be so interested in the men. But now I'm seeing more and more of the male matches. And I like what the guys are doing as well. So, that's my opinion. But, in closing, thank you all for watching this video. Just remember, make sure you're staying safe out there. Make sure you're practicing safe social distancing if you do go out. I don't go out as much anymore because what's happening right now. But stay safe. I hope you all have a good week, and I hope you all have a rocking week.